Hello, everyone. Welcome into the View House Centennial. Gorgeous day outside here on Monday night. Even better inside because we got Mark Schlereth, Stink, in the house. We always have a great time because we know you're going to shoot us straight, Stink. That's what we love.
Yeah.
And what a good day to have you on as the Broncos make some noise, make some news. Zach Wilson is now a Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
What is your take on Zach Wilson and where he might fit here in Denver?
Well, I think number one, he's incredibly talented. I mean, when you watched film of him coming out in that 2021 class, everybody talked about Trevor Lawrence, but it's just as far as athleticism, arm talent, all those things that you can evaluate, he was off the charts with that stuff. Absolutely off the charts. Now, certainly, his time with the Jets has not gone as planned, but again, it's the Jets, right? I mean, nobody's career goes well when they go to the Jets. So you hope that he grows up. You hope that he has a chip on his shoulder with that stuff. You hope that he comes into Denver and gets some coaching, gets that kind of tutelage under Sean Payton, and hopefully he develops. So I could see him, depending on where they go in this draft, if they don't draft a quarterback, I could see him competing for a starting job and just kind of seeing where you are. But I love the process of saying, hey, let's go get a really talented guy and let's retrain him.
Yeah.
And let's give him kind of a platform, a foundation in football. It's almost like a football rehab. And you see a lot of guys go through this over the course of their careers. I remember Nick Foles was going to be out of football, completely out.
Yeah.
Andy Reid convinced him to come to the Chiefs. He went for a year of football rehab. Then he goes to Philadelphia. Carson Wentz gets hurt, and he becomes a Super Bowl hero.
Right.
So those are the type of stories that can happen with a guy. I'm not saying that it will, but there's no question he's got immense talent.
I love it. We get a Philly special reference, and we're feeling good about
Right,
Zach Wilson
sure.
all of a sudden now.
Yeah.
A lot of Broncos fans well, what does this mean for the draft? It doesn't seem like this will change what they're going to do, but do you think it possibly could?
Well, I've been on this kind of bandwagon, my own bandwagon, when it comes to what they should do in this draft.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any quarterback in this particular draft that's worth going up, from 12 to 3 or 12 to 4. I don't think there's any person that totally sells me, that doesn't have so much to work on coming into this draft. So my thought process is, can you trade back? Can you accumulate more picks? Is there a guy at the top of the second round or the third round, if you traded back, that you could get in on that particular guy? Do you like do you like one of the later quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, for instance, or I think Michael Pratt out of Tulane? And remember, in Tulane now, Dan Rauscher used to be an assistant with Sean Payton, who is now the head coach of Tulane. So they would have more information. I haven't heard his name a lot, so which always tells me the more I hear a guy's name, the less I'm inclined to believe they're going to actually draft that guy. So there's a lot of things at play right now for the Denver Broncos, but I do appreciate them saying finally, like after 8 years, hey, putting a Band-Aid on it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Let's blow the thing up and start over from scratch. And there's some patience involved in that.
Sure.
But I won't be heartbroken if they don't take a quarterback at 12, if they decide to go back further on that. And Zach Wilson helps with some of that, ease some of that pain, I would think.
Sure.
So that's kind of how I look at the draft process.
Yeah. I like it. I like that perspective. When you think about it, obviously the quarterback has kind of clouded what is every other position that they need to fill, and there is a lot of holes on this roster. Where do you think, outside of quarterback, they should prioritize in this draft?
Well, I think there's, the cornerstone positions. Their corners are always, a commodity.
Yeah.
And they're great. Now, the thing about a great corner is a great corner can shut down one receiver. But a great pass rush shuts down all the receivers. And so an edge presence guy opposite of the guys you have is always, is always something that you would look at and say, that's something that we can build a football team on. So I think an edge presence guy, there's a bunch of those guys in here. And then tackles, the offensive tackle class is really big time in this draft. So I would think that would be something that you would look at as well. I'm not so, and I know there's supposed to be a lot of good receivers in this draft class, but I'm not so keen on taking one super early. We've played that game, you know, with the Jerry Judys and the KJ Hamlers and some of the guys that we have, and it hasn't necessarily worked out for us. So I'm okay bypassing that particular position.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one for sure. We got so much more coming up here. We're so lucky to have Mark Schlereth in the house tonight before the Broncos get drafting on Thursday. Well, welcome back into Xfinity Monday Live here at the View House Centennial. And what a thrill tonight. We got Mark Schlereth in the house. And Stink, I don't know, are you going to pick up college coaching? We saw you up there in Boulder. Give us your take on what's going on up there.
I love what's going on up there.
Yeah.
I really, I've known Deion probably since we came into the league.
Oh, wow.
And there's not only a great energy and a great pace with which they play and practice, but there's a great connectivity up there. And I know that this is kind of the Wild West, the new frontier of college football, but there's a connection aspect of Deion and what he means to the coaches and what he does with the players that really resonates. And, he's one of those guys that's a CEO. He's been coaching a long time, and he knows what he wants, and he knows what he's doing. But at the same time, he lets his coaches coach. And it's been really cool for me to walk into the program and for Deion to say, you've got full reign.
Yeah.
Be wherever you need to be on the field. Coach the guys, pull them out, do whatever you need to do to help us, attain what we want to attain, to be great. And so, for me to go in there and be able to coach up some nuance and to talk to some guys, and there's no egos, not like Phil Lodeholt does a great job with the offensive line. I'll come in there and step on his toes. It doesn't matter to him. He just wants what's best for the kids. And I feel like they all want that. And so, like I said, there's a great energy in what's going on there. We see the brash and bravado and all the stuff, but underneath all that exterior, man, there's a real heartbeat to that football team, to that program. And Deion does a great job with really growing those kids up and really being invested in their lives. And I appreciate that.
You talk about that heartbeat, that connectivity. Do you think that can translate, or will it translate to success on the field this season?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that when you sacrifice for one another and when you play for one another, that can't help but make you a better football team. There's no question that they're more talented than they were a year before. So just from a talent standpoint alone, they're a better football team. But it takes more than talent. You've got to play together. You've got to play complementary football. You have to increase your global perspective, your knowledge of the game, so that you can understand other people's issues, where to attack people, and how to help each other out, and how to, take advantage of the knowledge that you're gaining and take that and apply it to a football field. So there's a lot of things that they have to do, and they would tell you, and Deion would tell you, we've got to be better than we are right now. But that's why they're out there working. That's why they got the spring ball or the spring game Saturday. That's what they're doing right now, and they're an improved football team from last year.
Exciting times, especially now that we know you're up there kind of coaching them up a little bit. We're feeling good about this now.
Well, I mean, don't hold me to it. I'm hoping it translates.
What? I am holding you to it because I think it will. We're going to take a break right now. We got to get caught up on today's news and weather, and for that we send it over to, remember him? Your old friend.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey, Michael. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Stink. Always back down to the View House Centennial. Romy Bean hanging out with Mark Schlereth tonight. Hey, Romy, I got a question for Mark. Nuggets in 4 or Nuggets in 5?
All right. Well, you know what, Michael? We'll start off with that question then for the People Want to Know. People Want to Know brought to you by Common Spirit, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos and champions for the communities we serve. You heard it. Michael wants to know, Stink, Nuggets in 4 or Nuggets in 5?
I'm going to say the gentleman's sweep. Nuggets in 5.
Okay.
They'll be courteous on the road, give the L.A. Lakers 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only you're facing the L.A. Lakers, but you're facing the officials as well.
Yeah.
19 free throws versus 6 free throws in game 1, none in the second half.
Yes.
Like none.
Yeah.
And all 9 games in a row they've won, every one of them, the field goal or the free throw discrepancy is huge in favor of the Lakers, which it always is. So, I'm going to give them 1 victory because of the altruistic nature of the Nuggets.
Okay.
Right?
That feels good.
Yeah.
And I love that it's called a gentleman's sweep.
Yes.
Gentleman's sweep.
Right, exactly.
I agree. All right, well, that was the People Want to Know brought to you by Common Spirit. We got to take one more quick break. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the other big Broncos news of the day, the Threads. We'll get Stink's take on the Threads after this. Here with Mark Schlereth tonight, and you have been through a Broncos rebrand once in your life,
Yes,
wearing one uniform to the other. They came out with new ones today. What stinks take?
Yeah, I'm all about nostalgia, so I love the throwback back to the Orange Crush days. I like that orange. I like that light blue, whatever you call that. Not quite royal blue, but whatever that unique blue is of the old uniforms. I would have loved to see them keep that color scheme, go back to that D with the horse head, and then, spiff up whatever you wanted to spiff up with, the mountain sign on the side of the shoulder or whatever it is. But I would have loved to see them go in that direction.
Yes.
But, they're not marketing to me. They're marketing to a bunch of, younger generation of potential football fans. So when they say, hey, we interviewed 10,000 Bronco fans, I was like, was the age group between 9 and 14? Like, is that the 10,000 fans? Were any of them actually buying tickets?
Right.
Or were their parents buying the tickets? So, but, I understand that. I understand that next generation of football fans that you're trying to cultivate, because they got me.
Yeah,
I'm going to be a fan regardless.
That's a good point too. I guess I'm officially on the Get Off My Lawn committee, because I'm with you. Give me the old school. That's what I want.
Right.
Well, Stink, this was such a treat. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to hearing much more about, I don't know, whatever you're doing in Boulder and before you get with your crazy NFL season. Thanks so much.
You got it.
Guys, we will see you tonight at 10 o'clock.